All right, so let's just settle in and we'll check in a second, but just to get us warmed up. So finding a position we call holding post. So I'll be watching your posture. So feet shoulder width and feet straight ahead. So most important thing is the shoulder width, giving yourself enough space. And then we're going to tuck the tailbone. This is key. So again, and I'm always going to go over this on every call because it's so important. But when my butt is out, my back is kind of curved. And when I tuck it under, my back goes straight. And that's what we want. Yeah, oh yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. So you got your knees bent, tailbone tucked. Great. Then kind of allow a cord to pull your head up. So you can face the camera again too, now that you've got that locked in. Perfect. And then imagine a cord just kind of pulling your crown up and then tucking your chin just a tad. So you should feeling all that lock in. So the hip tucked, head pulled up, chin tucked, and then we're going to hold a ball. And this is kind of right in front of your sacral center. And yeah, good, looking really good. So you got the space underneath the armpits, which is great. And just letting it kind of hang loose as much as possible. Just close your eyes here, settle in. Feel the power of this posture, sitting back on that kangaroo tail, feeling your spine stretched out. And just noticing here, noticing what you feel, shoulders dropped. Checking in with the three treasures, starting with the upper dantian, the ajna center. Noticing your mind. What is it trying to conceptualize? What is it thinking about this morning? Letting your forehead soften, noticing the thoughts rising and falling. Noticing their quality. Watching them drive by as if on a highway. And as they continue to drive on by, in the next exhale, bringing your attention into your heart. Breathing deeply into your chest here and upper back. The heart is nestled in between the lungs. So as we fill up our lungs, we massage the heart. We're breathing into the solar plexus region, the heart region. The middle of the four dantians, medium between heaven and earth, medium between our higher purpose, our incarnation cross, and our earthly expression, our ego, our lower self. We're breathing into the G and ego centers here. Noticing any emotions that are moving around, letting them rise and fall. Noticing any energetic grips you have on any one emotion and loosening that grip. Creating space. On the next exhale, dropping your attention down into your belly, into the sacral. Noticing your energy level today. For those watching on the recording, if you have an open sacral, just noticing what's moving through your sacral today. How energized are you? How tired are you? Have you been pushing through limits? If you have a defined sacral, just noticing that familiar feeling. Where is your energy today? Is your sacral kind of depleted? Have you used it just right? Have you overused it a little bit? Have you been paying attention to it? What's it feel like in that region? Now, using your breath to direct fresh oxygen and fresh chi to any points of tension or pain in your body. Feeling the power of your breath to direct this fresh chi and creating space around those tension points. Good. On the next exhale, dropping down into your feet, letting your arms hang, feeling your connection of the feet to the ground and just bouncing. Still sitting back on that kangaroo tail, checking in if your tailbone's still tucked. And if it's not, that's okay. Just tuck it again. I've got my friend Basil, my friend's dog, laying next to me, and dogs, again, are such a good teacher. Whenever they walk by someone that they just aren't feeling, they shake it off. So picturing any energy that just you kind of picked up from yesterday or tomorrow from conversations, anything that isn't yours, just letting it roll off your shoulders. Letting out any sounds if it feels good. And then holding a stack of logs. Our elbows are connected to our liver and spleen here, and we're just letting anything, any extra anger, any extra worry that our spleen or our liver are holding, just to imagine it falling down your elbows, down off your fingertips. Releasing any energetic grips, letting it shake off. Any not self patterns that are here just at the surface that aren't deeply rooted in our nervous systems. We don't have to know what they are. We just let them fall off. Now the heart, as if you're hugging a tree, facing your palms right at your heart, beaming love and light to your heart, releasing any excess anxiety. And then overhead, as if you're being marionetted by your higher self, raining down golden light, releasing any pressure on your mind. And then like a monkey hanging forward, just maybe go back and forth a little bit here, a little twist. Relaxing yourself, stretching out your lower back and your kidneys. And then gentle back bend, tucking that tailbone, squeezing your glutes together to protect your knees, and trusting your body. Only bend as far as feels good. But opening up those shoulders and lung points. And then coming back to holding post. And just noticing, adjusting your posture, tucking the tailbone, feeling your spine stretched. Letting out an exhale. Noticing if anything shifted. Breathing the hands up to the heart. Exhaling, dropping the elbows. And we're going to do some gentle twists. So you keep twisting. I'm going to explain kind of what we're doing here. And this is often the most boring part of Qigong and the most important. These warm-ups, these stretches, releasing and purging. So this movement is originating in the hip crease. So as you're twisting, pay attention to where you're originating the motion. You don't want to originate it with your arms. You want to originate it with a little dip in the hip crease, because both the spleen and the liver channels come up the insides of the legs right into this hip crease, and then they kind of change direction in the gut. But we're opening up our connection to the earth. Our design, the circuitry of our design is meant to plug into the earth and plug into the cosmos. That's why we call it circuitry. All these channels are circuits. So sometimes those circuits get mucked up. They get mucked up in our fascia, they get mucked up in our tissues, they get mucked up in our muscles. So we're creating space here. Good. And now we're going to ring the temple bell. So keep that hip crease dip motion, but now just let your arms hang. And just let your arms swing. There should be no movement. You're not doing anything with your arms. Just that gentle hip crease sends them kind of flopping around. And where you want to be hitting is, if you look at where I'm hitting on my back, it's right under the rib cage. And these are your kidneys right here. And this allows us to wake up the kidneys. The kidneys help us calm our fears. Sometimes we get stuck in our head trying to figure out our fears, especially if you have gate 64, 61, or 63 defined in your chart, then you have that consistent mental processing that sometimes can be directed incorrectly at trying to figure out your emotions. So instead, we can utilize movement and Qigong to release emotion. So now we're going to do gently let your twisting slow down. And now we're going to do kidney rubs. So if you can get your palms right under your rib cage, great. This is painful for my shoulders. I have a couple injuries. So I use the back of my hands, which is also good. And then we're just going to rub. We're going to bounce and rub. Again, warming our kidneys up. Paying attention to posture, keeping your feet shoulder width and straight. Keeping your tailbone tucked. And we're going to rub for like 100 to 150 times here. Your arms might actually get a little tired from this. You might feel some heat in your body. That's good. We're helping the kidneys do their job. We're helping the kidneys release relaxation into the body. Okay, just like 50 more. Let's feel that burn. If you need to take a break, that's okay. But if you can allow the burn and keep going, that's great. About 20 more here. Good. Shake out those arms if you need to. And then hands on the hips. We're going to do hip circles. I'm coming a little closer for this. So I'm kind of painting a box with my hips, like a rectangle. And my torso will naturally bend forward as I go to the back. And just trying to paint all four corners of, and you might find a stuck point. My teacher says, you don't really appreciate this stretch until you're over 35. And I can attest that being over 35, there's a lot of these stuck points in our hips. And again, our hips are so crucial because all those liver and spleen channels and other channels that allow us to ground our incarnation cross into the earth, that allow us to be grounded here on the earth and to cycle earth energy into our sacral to use as life force. If our leg channels are mucked up, if we're stuck here, if our hip is stuck, it mucks up the channels, it mucks up the flow. So we take a little time here. If you can do this every day, if you can just do what we're doing right now, these warm-ups every day, it's going to make a difference, I promise. You're going to notice you're in your not self patterns less and less. All right, so now last stretch before we get into a Qigong flow is the neck and the throat. So the liver channels, which we've talked about a couple classes ago, your liver is right here, and it's responsible for anger. So energetically in your human design chart, the acquired nature of the liver is anger, resentment, frustration, the stuck energy. When you don't process your anger in the present moment, it gets stuck. So the liver channels, solar plexus region, the liver goes into the solar plexus region. It's a pretty big organ. And if we think about the channels connecting the solar plexus region to the throat, we've got 36, 35, and 2212, which are both manifestor channels. And we've also got this region, the lower heart, the ego center, connected to the throat as well through 2145. All three of those channels, the not self theme is anger. So when you think about your expression, moving this excess anger is important. And the liver channels do travel up into the throat and actually come into your eyes. So when we do some liver movements, I'm going to sometimes tell you to do dragon eyes. And basically it looks like a crazy person. So because the channels come right to the eyeballs and your spleen channels come right to the tip of the tongue. So we want to, again, make sure that we're allowing all the free flow of energy as much as possible, not only at the meridian level, not only at the energy level, but our muscles and fascia as well. Okay, so we're just going to dip our head to one side. And on the next exhale, coming down, we're just going to do half circles right now. Inhaling to the other side, pausing for a round of breath. Feeling that stretch in your neck. And then exhaling down. Feeling the stretch in the back of your neck, and then inhaling to the other side. And then find a rhythm, exhaling down, inhaling to the side, exhaling down, inhaling to the other side. And then when you feel ready, if you feel ready, being gentle, knowing if you have any pain in your neck, we're going to extend it to full circles. And practice letting your eyes guide the movement. Where your eyes go, the chi flows. So look where you want your head to go. So I'm looking as far as I can around and letting my neck gently, stretching out the neck in all directions. Working out those liver channels, giving a pathway for anger through the eyes. And then go in the other direction. Good. And when you feel ready, going back to a gentle pause back in, finding holding post one more time. Ah, tucking the tailbone, letting the spine get stretched up by that golden cord, tucking the chin. Looking really good, Jonah. Really powerful posture. And just noticing here, what has shifted, if anything? Good. Now we're going to go through some flows. So we're going to inhale our arms up, stretching the side body, exhaling shoulders down, inhaling tabletop, bending forward, pausing here for a round of breath. Noticing the stretch in your inner thighs and the hamstrings here. Again, liver and spleen channels, waken them up here. And then on the next exhale, forward fold. Now breathe into your lower back. We're going to stay here for 3 rounds of breath. You can also pulse your knees if you want to get an extra stretch. But concentrate your breath into that lower back, into your kidneys. One more breath. And the next inhale, putting the weight in your heels, bending your knees, and letting yourself come up one vertebrae at a time. And then at the top, exhaling, rotating your palms forward, come into a gentle back bend. Opening up the lung channel. So the lung channels go up into the lungs, meet at the base of your throat, and they'll go down your arms. So we're waking up the lung channels here. Pathways to release excess grief, shame, guilt. Good. Inhaling the arms up. Straight back, straight spine. Exhaling, forward fold. Taking a couple breaths here, feeling your legs waking up, breathing into the lower back. Good. On the next inhale, weight in the heels, coming up one vertebrae at a time. Exhaling at the top and rotating your palms forward, gentle back bend. Squeezing those glutes together, protecting your lower back and knees. Take a couple breaths. Inhaling up. Exhaling, forward fold. Taking a couple breaths. Feeling the stretch. On the next inhale, weight in the heels, coming up one vertebrae at a time. When you get to the top, exhaling, palms forward, gentle back bend. On the next inhale, feet and hands together over your head, steeple grip. Up over the head. Stretching feet together on this one. Good, awesome. Oh, feeling that stretch. Exhale, shoulders drop. Inhaling up again. And then exhaling to your right. Feeling that stretch in your left side body, in your spleen, thanking your spleen. Breathing into it. And on each exhale, if you can go a little deeper, great. If not, just stay where you are. Oh, feeling that side body stretch. So good. One more breath in. Inhaling up to the top and exhaling to the left. Feeling that stretch in your liver. Thank you, liver. Thank you for all you do to cleanse the body, to reset the past through anger. May we have the courage to feel our anger in the moment, to set boundaries and to not hold it in. Inhaling up. And then now coming back to holding post. So feet shoulder width, holding that chi ball, and just noticing. Bring your attention between your palms. Notice if you feel anything there. You might, there's burps coming out of me now. That's, allowing that to happen if it wants to. It's releasing energy. Ah, good. Now we're going to practice a lung movement. So inhaling, hands to sides. Exhale, push. Now stay here for a moment. So elbows stay gently bent, and our hands are cupped as if we're holding up ball with one hand on each side. And just exhale again. Shoulders drop. Looking really good, Jonah. And then we're going to inhale, and I'm going to come forward. So inhaling, arms are going to be straight, and we're hitting our thumb on our pointer finger. And this is the lung meridian, comes all the way down to this side of the finger. So when we do that, we're helping open that channel and release grief, and we're stretching out. So you want to lock out your arms here. It's one of the only Qigong movements where I'll have you lock out your arms. Feeling that stretch, shoulders dropped. And then on the exhale, we're going to round our back and give back here, breathing into the back of the lungs. Feeling anything that wants to release off your hands. Now I'm going to stay facing sideways just so you can see this, but you'll see my spine is rounded. On the next inhale, I'm going to gather one finger at a time, breathing in, straightening my spine, and gathering right into the liver and spleen. And I'm going to pack that chi in. And what that means is I'm going to tense up about 50% of my muscles throughout my whole body, everything below the throat. I'm going to tense by 50%, packing in that fresh chi. And then release. And then inhaling up. Exhale, this time look to your left. Inhaling, put that beak down, shoulders dropped, feeling that stretch. Exhale, get back. Rounding the upper back, breathing into the back of your lungs. Taking a few breaths here. Inhaling one finger at a time, gathering that chi, straightening the spine, pack it in on the exhale. Feel the power of just activating your muscles here. Feel the heat, let that chi pack in. And then inhaling, exhale, look to your right. Pause here for a moment and just imagine releasing anything you've been holding on to, pushing it out of your field as you look to your right. And then inhaling, bird beak down. Exhale, get back. Inhaling in, packing in the chi. Now we're going to do another round, looking forward, looking left, looking right, but kind of at your own pace here. I'm not going to direct the timing, so if you need to look at the camera to see what I'm doing, that's fine, but just kind of find a flow. The inhale is when the bird beak goes down, and the exhale is giving back. Inhaling is packing, is gathering the chi, exhale is packing. Trust your body. Move with your breath at your own pace. And there's no rush. Once you find yourself finishing that third round, coming back to holding post, taking your time. Good. So now we're going to continue working with the lungs. But now that we've stretched out the fascia and the muscles, now we're going to work at the subtler level. So that's a lot of Qigong is learning your body, creating mobility and flexibility in the muscles where the meridians lie. So again, the meridians of the lungs go all the way down to the tip of the thumb and the tip of the pointer finger. So they go down the arm. So we're going to now practice moving energy. So with the lungs, any stuck unhealthy grief that you're holding on to, any shame, any guilt, just imagine where we're right now creating the space for it to flow and leave with love, with gratitude, with all the ways that shame has helped you, all the ways that you've had to utilize shame in your past. You acquired shame. The not self is most of the not self that we hold, our patterns are acquired as protection patterns to navigate a world that doesn't really understand or want us or feel safe or think we'll be safe if we follow our design. So this is an opportunity without thinking to release, to soften, to let go. So this is a softer movement. So I'm going to come a little closer just so you can see, but I'm inhaling my arms up straight ahead, and then you see my hands are really loose, almost like a zombie. And then I'm going to drop the wrists, and now I'm still kind of connecting those points, those lung points. But this time, I'm gonna just gently, I'm not using, not just like the form we just did, I'm not using barely any muscle here. This is more energetic. So I'm pulling a beautiful white thread, golden white light. And then exhaling, it's a more subtle here too. I am kind of gently back, like rounding my back, but it's much more subtle. Getting in tune with our energy field here. Inhaling, imagine we're just pulling out from our field anything that isn't serving us. And here you can see I'm going back far enough where I feel kind of a little bit of a stretch. Like I'm not stopping here, I'm stopping here where there's yeah, I feel a stretch, but I'm not really pushing it. That's where I stop because we want this to be really gentle. And then exhale. And then inhale. And exhale. So I'm gonna just let us be in this flow for a little while. Just notice what you're noticing, feel what you're feeling. Imagining that golden white thread. Checking your tailbone. If it untucked, just retuck it. Do about 3 more of these. Going at your own speed, your own pace. Last one. Coming back to holding pose when you finish this one. Just noticing. Taking a moment to adjust your posture, plug back into the cosmos and the earth. Plugging in your circuits, and just pause and notice. Now, the lungs in Chinese medicine are connected to the metal element. And on metal flows water. So we're going to move into the water element, which is our kidneys, which we've been starting to explore. So for this, you need a little bit of a wider stance. So kind of like a sumo. Yeah, perfect. Jonah, looking good. And then we're going to have one hand. So take your right hand and kind of almost like you're like holding a beautiful cup. Yep. And then if you can keep your body a little bit more face straight, it's gonna curve a little bit to that direction, but there's like we're wringing out the organs. So the more we can like twist from here, but keep our torso, our hips straight, the better. Yeah, looking good. And then this hand is gonna come to our kidneys. So back of the palm on the kidneys. So it looks like this. And then we're going to inhale, paint the sky. And as you paint the sky, you're going to bend into your right knee. So I'm going to pause here so we can just like look at our postures and adjust. Yep, looking pretty good. And then you're going to dip down on the exhale and we're going to scoop. So we're dipping down and imagine you're scooping up water from a river. So coming all the way across your body. Yep, good. All the way past the other knee. So now look where I am now. So now I'm bent into my left knee. Yeah, good. And then coming up, back to where we started. Exhale. Inhale, paint the sky. Shifting our weight into our right knee. Exhaling down. Inhaling, gather the water. Shifting the weight as if you're doing a lateral lunge into the left knee. And then coming back up, exhaling as that water pours down your elbow into your body. Taking a round of breath here. Inhale, paint the sky. Shifting the weight into that right knee. Exhaling down. Inhale, gather the water. Scooping it up. And exhale, when you get to the top, just pause here and exhale. Let that water fall down your elbow, down into your torso, down into your kidneys, nourishing you. Good. Now we're going to shift our weight to our right knee. Put the right hand behind the back. And now the left hand is holding the cup. And just see and Jonah, trust your body. I don't want to push you past your body's limits, but just that minor adjustment of keeping your hips as straight as possible so that the twist kind of happens here. It's not always, as much as your body can, but you're looking really good. And then inhaling across the sky, painting the sky in front of your third eye. Exhaling down. Then remember to keep your weight in your glutes and in your heels. And inhaling, gathering the water. Good, looking good. Weight is now in the right knee. Exhale. Inhale, paint the sky. Shifting the weight to the left knee. Weight is in the heel of the left heel. Exhaling down. Inhale, scoop the water. Good, exhale. Oh yeah, posture's looking better and better. Exhale. Inhale, last one. Inhaling, paint the sky. Exhaling down. Scooping up that water. Thank you, water. Thank you for your flow. Exhaling it, letting it flow into the kidneys. Thank you, kidneys, for helping us be in flow and be trusting and be relaxed. Gently coming back to holding post, bringing your feet back to shoulder width. Pausing here. Noticing. Water grows wood. Wood is the element of the liver. So we've done this liver movement before. I'm not sure if you were here for that class, Jonah, but the liver movement. So you're going to take your left hand and kind of put it next to your spleen, and then your right hand is going to come forward. So kind of side view, front view. And then we're going to scoop the backhand and push it as if this is a track. So we're going to push this like as if we're pushing a ball down a track. So, and then they kind of switch positions. Yeah. Yep. So okay. So at this point, so right now, at the furthest point, right, kind of like as this hand is pushing out, this hand is coming back. So there's almost like a transition. And this is pushing. And then on the inhale, this arm flips back over. So now we're at the starting position. And now what hand is that for you? That's your left hand is back. So you're gonna, yeah, let's face the camera. It's a little easier. So right now, yes, your right hand is forward, okay? And so you're gonna take your left hand and you're gonna push. Good. And then the other hand is coming back, and then inhale, we meet here. Good. And just lower everything a little bit. So you kind of came up here, which it's not a bad thing, but we're working with the liver. So it's kind of like we're right here in that plane. Okay, so now, other way. So inhaling, gather the chi, and exhale, push it out in front of you. Good. And just make sure yeah, there you go. The palms face forward. We're like, push, this is anger. Like, no, you will not do that. Inhale, gather. Any excess anger, gather with the back hand and push. No. And this is where and then on the inhale, this hand flips, both hands kind of flip. We go like that on the inhale. So inhale, this hand gathers, and exhale, push. Yeah, good. Just keep everything a little lower. Yep, and then exhale, push. Good. Inhale, hands flip. Exhale. So inhale, they flip. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Exhale, flip. Good. You're getting the hang of it. I know this one's a little tricky. Inhale, flip, gather the chi, gather any stuck anger, and push it out of your past, out of your present. Inhale, push, exhale. See if you can get into a flow here. This one's a little tricky, so let yourself be a little messy. It's okay. But we're inhaling, exhale, pushing. Inhale, gather, exhale, push. And I'm going to stop talking. Just play with it. Let it be messy. You can watch me and just find your rhythm. Looking really good. And you'll notice that just like in our warm-ups, when I'm pulling my hand back, the opposite hip, I'm dipping a little bit. So there's a little twist here. If you feel comfortable to add that in, Qigong's all about twisting, wringing out the muscles, wringing out the meridian lines. Good. Yeah, looking better and better. The only thing I'm noticing, you're doing great. The slight adjustment I would make is just continue to remind yourself to keep your arms at the plane of your liver. They kind of tend to rise up to the heart. And it's nothing's a big deal, but you'll get the most out of it if you keep them down here. This is also, it's a liver movement, but it's also really good for the spleen. So while we're on the right side, we're releasing anger from the liver. On the left side, we're releasing worry from the spleen. So we can trust our intuition, trust our instincts. Now, if you want to add one more thing in, is on the exhale, go into crazy eyes, dragon eyes. So it looks like this. Gentle, gentle. Like imagine someone just made you really angry and you're like, oh, and like letting that out and realizing that you can do that without needing anyone to piss you off or needing anyone to trigger you. You don't need a target for your anger. The liver is connected to the eyes. You make them wide, the body's like, oh, it's time to move anger. And this is a really healthy way to move stuck resentment, stuck anger. If it feels comfortable, let yourself make a noise. Let yourself growl. Or even just breathe from your throat. It might seem silly at first, so if part of you wants to laugh, that's okay. Let it out. You keep going. I'm just going to check the time here. So do about 3 more on each side. And there's no rush, taking your time. When you finish the 3 on each side, meeting back in holding post. Good. Adjusting your posture, checking if your feet are shoulder width, tucking that tailbone, stretching the spine, tucking the chin, holding that chi ball, and just noticing. Did anything change? Is it all the same? Just notice. And then begin to put a prayer into the chi in between your hands. See if you can feel the chi. Our palms are our Lao Gong points, so the most powerful points of our body for energy transmission. Just see if you can feel any tingling on your fingertips, or if you feel anything in between your palms. Sometimes it's nice to play with on an inhale, gently pulling your fingertips apart. And an exhale, pushing against the edges of the chi ball. And if you need to imagine it at first, that's okay. But over time, you'll start to feel that chi ball in between your hands. Like for me, when I inhale and I try to exhale, like I feel it right here. There's a resistance. And this helps us build our subtle awareness of energy moving in our body, which is what will help you feel your authority, whether it's an emotional wave or a sacral response. It will help you distinguish between your emotions and your authority. A splenic yes, a splenic no, is often in the field. You know, I hear it described often by my clients as being in the field. So tapping in, being able to feel your energy can help. Feeling the self-projected authority, energy moving from your heart up to your throat when that surprising thing comes out of your mouth. As you're getting used to knowing what that sounds like, you can also feel it. Environmental authority, feeling the energy around you, feeling if you're being recognized and accepted as a projector, knowing what that feels like. This all happens at the subtle level. And as we use Qigong to wring out our muscles and tissues, we create more access. So now, roll that Qi ball in your hands. Imagine, and if you can't feel it, imagine it. And just start to put a prayer into that Qi ball. It could be a prayer for your day, could be a prayer for yourself, could be a prayer for a loved one, or a prayer for the collective. And pack that prayer in. So as you're praying, bringing your hands closer to closer, really packing that Qi in. And then Lao Gong over Lao Gong, bring that Qi ball into your belly and rub. In Chinese medicine, they like to do things in 3s and 9s. So I typically rub 9 times, but trust your body. Any amount of rubs is good. Whatever feels good to you. Good. We're going to close out with some tapping. So taking your any hand and starting on the opposite shoulder. I'm starting with my right hand on my left shoulder. And just pulling off the weight of the world here from your shoulder. Then tapping down the lung line. So tapping down the thumb side. And then tapping up the pinky side. Gathering any stuck chi in your armpits. Tapping down to the spleen. Tapping anything that wants to be released up to the surface. And then make nice. Thank you, spleen. Thank you. Other hand, left hand, right shoulder. Pulling off anything that's weighing us down, the weight of the world that we hold on our shoulders, and tapping it down our arms, down the thumb side, down all the way down the thumb and up the pinky. Gathering at the armpit. Ooh, gathering at the liver. Make nice. Rub off anything that came to the surface to be released. Now belly. Kind of lower belly, like inguinal crease, right at the hip line. Any stuck energy here, up at the solar plexus, right under the rib cage. And then the upper chest. And then make nice. Good. Now, inhaling the arms up. On the exhale, we're going to slap down our outside legs. Then on the inhale, up the inside legs, inhaling up. Good. Exhale at the top. Again, inhale up. Exhale, the legs. Inhaling up. Good. One more, inhaling up. Exhale down the legs. Inhaling up. And then we're going to close out with my teacher's teachers. Favorite way to close out was just with 3 ha breaths. So we're going to smack our glutes and we're going to say ha 3 times, as loud as we can, as loud as you feel comfortable with. So breathing in, ha, ha, in, ha, ha, more, ha. And then give yourself a round of applause. Well done. And let's come back and just have a few minutes here to debrief.
Thank you, Orion. That was wonderful. Incredible. I want to do this every day.
Oh, I hope you do. That's good. Yeah, even starting with the shaking.
Is this a daily practice for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why. It's incredible.
Yeah, tell me more. What did you feel? What did you notice?
Great. I mean, I've been practicing foundation training, and it's really helped me get better at the Qigong postures because some of foundation, first of all, foundations is very similar to Qigong. It's a very right variable, nine centered kind of practice developed by surfers in California. And a big the practice is you practice making your body really big when you breathe in. Like, for instance, when you're in one of the poses, you'll try to spread your shoulders and create the space under the armpit, but then do a
Mm,
pinch. There's like a pinch here where it kind of like
uh,
pinches under and it keeps your shoulders spread. And the
yeah.
reason it's so good is like when you start breathing in, you just feel the difference. You just feel this expansive breath.
Ooh,
And
that's
so
really
I
cool.
so this time in particular, I know this is the third time I've done a Qigong class ever in my life. You're my only
Yeah.
Qigong instructor. It's been incredible. But this is my third class ever. And I felt a huge improvement even over 2 weeks ago, like when I was doing the lower back breathing and the breathing into my kidneys, because I had just been doing so much expansive breathing. I could really feel my lower back open up and like the breath get there somehow, which is kind of
Ooh,
amazing.
that's awesome.
I'm realizing that breathing itself can stretch, that, when you get in the right position, then a deep breath in actually expands your back and shoulders and lower back and all of it.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, I think most people don't know how to breathe into their lower back. It's like it took me like a year after my teacher was like, breathe into your lower back. Like, I mean, I get that. I'm trying, but like it just my
yeah,
body wasn't
well, it
doing
may
it.
have been the first time I was really in the right position to do it. And, I definitely just feel such an improvement. This is just my third session, and I've already learned so much. So I definitely want to go back and I want to see the one that I missed as well and go back and just start practicing them. So I really appreciate the format you've done here, which makes it really easy to watch again and really easy to just follow along because I know I'll be
Cool.
watching these again.
Awesome. Yeah, I actually have to get you the recordings. I
Okay.
I fell back, I fell off track with that. Is that what's the best way? The best way, is
I'll
there a
just send you a
placement
Google Drive link. Yeah, I'll send you a shared link that you can just upload directly to of anything. And I'll make sure they get out there. But yeah, this has just been
Awesome.
wonderful for me. I mean, this is my health practice has mostly been trigger point therapy, which does work with very similar meridians. It works with a
Mhm.
lot of massage and a lot of definitely I've learned that it's amazing what a physical blockage can do to actually cause health problems. So people
Yeah,
don't necessarily believe it. Like if you read the trigger point therapy workbook, it's considered by mainstream Western medicine to be a little out there in the same way that Qigong, while gaining acceptance, is still kind of considered an auxiliary health method, not primary. And I see it
yeah,
as primary. I see Qigong in the same way. I mean, I've had so much admiration for it really for decades, and I've known Qigong masters, and it's really just a matter of not having found the right teacher, and now I found you, and I'm learning so much. But in the meantime, I definitely was learning trigger point therapy, which has so many parallels, and in the same way that it's kind of people think, oh, you have back pain or something like that. It's not about that. It's about moving the chi. And what I've learned from trigger point therapy is astonishing. People get dizziness, people get confusion, mood things, sleep disorders. I mean, you name it, down the list of problems that people face,
yeah,
you can find certain areas which have really painful, tense, there's no chi flowing there, there's no blood flowing there. It's just completely locked. The fascia haven't moved, and you can do this really intense kind of massage and change people's lives. They
yeah,
can feel things they haven't felt for years, and it's really incredible. So I see a real parallel with what qigong is doing. Of course, qigong has much deeper history and philosophy and deeper understanding of the actual chi. I
yeah.
think with trigger point, you have Westerners who are like, "Wow, we found these incredible points in the body. That's amazing. We found,
Right,
5,000
right,
years ago,
right.
people already had developed, intricate maps,
Yeah.
So very Western, very much, we found it, we'll put our flag on it. But nevertheless, I will say trigger point therapy changed my life, gave me an incredibly good quality of life from having chronic pain and
Wow.
repetitive stress injuries. And this was in my 20s. I mean, as a computer programmer, whether it's from posture or whether it's from typing and carpal tunnel type things or other issues, I just had a lot of pain. And trigger point therapy has done so much. Like now, if it flares up, I can treat it. But I see also that qigong is a much deeper level, because what trigger point is doing is kind of alleviating the points as they come up, you know?
Yeah.
And what Qigong is doing is treating the holistic being. And I really see
Yeah.
that holistic aspect of all five elements being treated. You don't just do one, you kind of, okay, we're going to do the lungs, but we also need to support the liver. We also need to support the spleen, and each each organ. So yeah, it's been incredible getting this peek into Chinese medicine and into Qigong, and it's really sparked my interest. I've been an armchair reader for years, but now you've really brought this to me in an accessible way. So I'm
Oh,
really
good. I'm so glad, John. Thanks for sharing. That's really cool. I want to find out more about trigger therapy. Yeah, I love my teacher, and I'll share my teacher with you too. If you like me, you'll probably love him. His name is David Beaudry, the Noble Movement Academy, and he's used to be a personal trainer and football player. So he comes from that, but now has been studying with masters from all over the world for over, I think, 12 years now, and he's just so good. Father, great husband, like just amazing man. But he brings in a lot of myofascial release, which is like a big part of what I love about working with him is I use the foam roller every day too to just keep
yeah.
like
I have
moving out and like getting into certain trigger points. So I'm excited to hear more about your journey with the trigger points.
Yeah, next time we spend time together, I'll show you my trigger point book, and I can also share foundation training, which has been really helping with the expansive breathing. So
Cool. I would love that, man. Well,
yeah.
always a pleasure. I always wish more people come because I just want more people to have this gift, but it was kind of cool to have this private session with you today. So I'm grateful.
Same. I agree, and I'll make sure that people get the links so they can watch the replays. I know we have people in all different time zones, and so some
Yeah.
people are in Europe and all sorts of things. But yeah, it's really a wonderful session, and I'm looking forward to the next one. As long as you keep doing them, I'll keep coming. Of course, if you
Cool.
ever want to change it up, if you ever get tired of doing these, you want to do something else. But I'm loving it. I'm eating it up, and this has just been really helpful for me. So.
Cool. I'm glad, Jonah. I hope you have a wonderful day. And yeah, next week looks like a good time to find a time to hang. So I look forward
Oh,
to it.
I'd love that. I'd love that. I'll shoot you a text also, or you can text me anytime you want to meet and get coffee. It'd be wonderful.
That sounds great. Yeah. Cool, man. Talk to you
Okay.
soon.
All
Bye.
right. See you. All right. Bye.